Overnight, the Senate unanimously passed legislation to revive the World War II-era lend-lease policy in order to quickly get more weapons and aid to Ukraine without involving American troops. Let's bring in White House correspondent Mary Alice Parks for more on that. Mary Alice, how does the policy work, and what impact could it have in Ukraine?
Yeah, Diane, this is really similar to other moves we've seen from the administration so far. Clearly, leaders in Washington are looking for any tools to try to move weapons to Ukraine quickly. They're trying to bypass traditional red tape. You can imagine that often when the U.S. government wants to lend military equipment or wants to give military equipment to other countries, there's a big process. There's a bidding process. There's paperwork. And we've seen over the last few weeks and months the U.S. really trying to cut through all of that. And this was the Senate's idea of a way to cut through even more red tape. Like you said, it was a program designed back in World War II to try to let the U.S. government move big equipment to European allies back then very quickly, basically saying that countries won't have to pay for that weapon systems soon. They could repay at a later date. It's basically letting the U.S. government try to move big artillery systems fast.
Now, is this a direct response to the atrocities that we're seeing in territories that were occupied by Russian forces?
Potentially. We know that leaders here are feeling the pressure to keep looking for anything they can do. But it's worth noting, too, that they have already been moving systems really quickly. We saw the administration, for example, start depleting stockpiles that it already had in Germany. You know, over the course of this war, just in the last 6 weeks, we've seen the U.S. give $1.7 billion in military assistance, $100 million committed by the State Department for new Javelin systems just a few days ago. So I think that we are seeing the Senate and the House sort of look for ways to up the ante here, but they have been moving quickly for several weeks.
Now, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky praised the new sanctions that block Russia from using U.S. bank accounts to pay its debts. But he also says that they're not enough and that he wants a complete blockade of the Russian banking system. How far do these new sanctions go, and what else is left on the table?
They are significant, but they are also incremental. They are similar to what we've seen the U.S. put in place in the past. One thing that's pretty buzzy, pretty noteworthy, like we saw there in James's piece, is that these new sanctions do name two of Putin's daughters. Putin is very private, doesn't often talk publicly about his family, but we know that Putin has often tried to hide his own personal assets through his family members. So, you know, clearly the United States is looking for these pressure points, looking for public ways to embarrass him, to tighten the squeeze, hoping potentially that some of these folks close to him would be able to put pressure on him in turn to sway him. But you're right that this is just another sort of series of banks where there are still additional banks, too, and financial systems that the U.S. could still target down the road.
All right, Mary Alice Parks for us. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.